Hey guys, it's Landon Smith here with Remax Professionals. And if you've been thinking about buying a home in the Denver, Colorado market, I would love to walk you through the steps that you need to know to make this goal a reality for you. And so the number one thing that I would do is get a referral for a trusted lender so that you can get pre-approved for a loan. That's your golden ticket in this market to be able to be considered a serious buyer by sellers. And so got to get that pre-approval. It does consist of pulling your credit and also uploading some documents to the lender's portal, usually tax returns and income verification type documents, and maybe a couple other things to make sure that you're ready to go and that you don't have anything that would stop you from getting a loan successfully. And once you have that, it's time to speak to a professional real estate agent. Okay. If you're in the Denver area, I would love to talk to you. My team and I have helped over 800 people through this process. And so we know how to best serve your needs and get you into the home that is right for you. And so as we talk, we'll talk through areas. If you have questions about those areas, I think that's the next step is just learning the areas. You can even drive around and go from neighborhood to neighborhood, getting a feel for how you like the streets. There's in Denver, especially like downtown, there's some streets that are fantastic, and then the next street over is kind of sloppy, or the homeowners just don't take care of their home like other areas. And so we can, help you by going through those areas and just helping you get a feel for how you feel in those certain areas. You may want to check out some of the suburbs in town, and see if that's a better fit for you. Uh, the schools are an important thing if you have kids, or if you're thinking about just appreciation over the long term. Checking out the schools is a great idea. And one of the best websites to go to is greatschools.org, so that you can get information surrounding like the schools, the area, and that can be a really good step in the right direction for you to find the location that works best for you. Okay, I would consider commutes. If you're working in one place and your kid's school is in another, maybe finding a spot that's in an area next to either one or in the middle of both. Short commutes equal happiness, in my opinion. So as long as you can afford to live close to where you work, that can be a really good thing long term and keep you in the home for longer, typically too, so that you can take more advantage of that amortization schedule, meaning that when you buy a house and you finance it for 30 years, each time you make a payment, you pay a little more back to yourself via principal and a little less to the lender via interest. So every month that gets better and better and better for you. So the longer you stay in a home, typically the more you earn over the long term. And some of the savviest home buyers that I've talked to and investors, and that wealthy mindset is to continue to buy real estate and hold it for as long as you possibly can. Okay. So you want to kind of have a little bit of a long-term approach when you're thinking about this, because you want to have options down the road. You don't want to be forced to sell. It would be great for you to be able to, have the option to rent it out and then go buy another place for yourself that suits your needs better later on. Okay, so location, location, location. The three most important things in real estate. I'm sure you've heard that before from a family member or Phil Dunphy on Modern Family, possibly. But that is key. Location is so important. So after that, once you've gotten to that point, then it's time to start looking through some properties in those areas that you've established as your favorite areas. Okay. And this is the approach that not many people take, honestly. Most people just start looking right away on day one, and they don't consider all the location stuff that can drive your decision and a more correct decision for you. So establish that location and then start looking through properties in that location that would be a good fit. Okay, and then after you do that, we want to understand the key strategies to compete in the Denver market. Okay, we have one of the most desirable areas in the country to live, and that's because we have the mountains, the biggest mountain range in the U.S. right here. We also have great ski areas. We have a phenomenal downtown that's a lot of fun to go to. We have great professional sports teams here. We've got a phenomenal economy that's very diverse. We're not an oil and gas town anymore. We've got that, but we've got a lot of tech, a lot of healthcare, a lot of number of industries that really contribute towards the Denver economy being stable, and it contributes towards real estate purchasing here being extremely safe. And I've yet to only one time in all of since the Great Depression has Denver gone down in value during a recession. That tells you a lot. And that was during the Great Recession. We went down between 8 and 20% during that time. But every other recession that we've experienced here in the Denver metro area, we've only appreciated. It's just at a lower number, like 2 to 3% per year or something like that. That's a recession for us. In other areas in the country, they lost 10%, of their gains that took them years to accumulate. And so, much steadier market. We are a growth market for sure. And so it's a very safe buy. So understanding that and the risk involved or the lack thereof in purchasing here in the Denver metro area is a very good thing to know. Okay, making sure that you're comfortable with your payment and that that's going to work for you long term is important as well. There are some programs that we can offer you on the lending side that will help you save money on interest or possibly on down payment that you could consider. So that's another thing that I'll want you to talk through with our preferred lenders as well if you choose to go through us for a referral. And then the other thing too is you want to look for a purchase that can appreciate. And what I mean by that is a home that is in a great area. If you have great schools around you, that always helps. Typically, if homes are like each other and they're not, one home is different than the next home next door, than the next home next door, that from appraisal law, that means that those homes will appreciate more over time. And so a block that is kind of in unison is a good thing for appreciation over time. And that's similar in size too and shape. So consider all of those things when you're thinking about a great home, but also a great investment that you can have. Okay. And then the other thing too with that is we want to avoid money pits. Okay. Make sure that we don't have things that are going to be very challenging down the road. Some of the turn of the century homes that are like late 1800s, early 1900s, there are parts and components that are near impossible to find, and it is very difficult. They can create money pits for you. So that's something to look out for. Bad locations, backing to really busy roads, highways, stuff like that can be a very difficult home to sell and cost you money down the road. But there's some things to think about as far as the cosmetics of the home. You want to buy a home that doesn't have new floors, that doesn't have new paint, that doesn't have a fully renovated kitchen. That's money in your pocket because if you do those things, you'll earn more on that home. And so those are some things to consider if you're willing to put in a little work or just get connections. I have connections for every contractor you could imagine and people that I've known, that I've vetted, that I trust, that I can send you to make your life easy as far as that goes, and then allow you to go make the money on your home by doing a little bit of work. So that's something to keep in mind. When the work that is needed is in the right places, you can make money. When the work that is needed is in the wrong places, then it's just going to cost you money that's not very fun or sexy to do down the road. And we're talking about some of the mechanical work, plumbing, electrical, that sort of thing. That doesn't make you money back, right? But the cosmetics do, especially in certain areas. Okay. So the last thing is understand the pitfalls of structural damage to a home. Okay. You do not want to buy a home that has structural damage. Okay. And we can point out those red flags to you and show you what to look for as far as that goes. But Colorado has expansive soils. Okay. And these soils expand over time and they move foundations and structures. And so if a home is not built right, especially if it was built in the 70s, okay, we had a lot of California builders that came in and built on our soil that had no clue what they were doing and didn't build on caissons. And so there's certain decades or eras where you got to have a higher level of alertness, looking for those structural things. And so you want to know that your home is structurally sound, safe, and it's not moving. You're not going to have any lateral movement that is walls, coming in on the house either. And so those things are so important to make sure that your investment is sound, that it's something that's going to make you money over time. And if you buy, especially if it's your first home, you guys, if you buy your first home and do a really good job at it, then it's going to set you up and trampoline you to the next investment and the next investment, right? You're going to use that equity to go buy another real estate asset that's going to help continue to make you wealthy over time. But if you buy a money pit on your first home, it's going to set you back and it's going to be harder and harder for you to really create that wealth that you want to create through real estate. And I'm a firm believer a home should be a home. It should be a place where you can enjoy for you or your loved ones. but it should also be an investment. You should always have that investor mindset. I want my home to actually make money over time and make me wealthy over time. 91% of all millionaires say that owning real estate was a big part of them becoming a millionaire. Okay. And maybe that's not your aspiration, but for a lot of people, most people like to have that comfort and have, wealth, especially in the years of retirement down the road. And so by buying and holding real estate over the long term, hopefully you could follow these steps on how to buy a home in the Denver metro area so that you can do this not just once, but maybe again and again down the road. And I'd love to be that realtor that you can trust. Working with my team, you'll only receive honest, um, feedback from us and coaching to help you buy that investment that's going to really bless your life, and help you get to where you want to get to as far as your goals go. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I appreciate you listening. Make sure you click subscribe if you'd like to hear more advice, content like this, and also property tours. I walk through a lot of homes. Some of them are more like in the thick of our price points that a lot of people are shopping in. Others are kind of fun, luxury type homes that it's fun to just, dream about and look at. And so a little bit of everything on here, but I try to provide some interesting things and also some very informative things that are going to help you in your journey so that you can, do great in real estate in the Denver metro, Colorado area. Thanks for listening.